Joining us on the show today, Gaurang Shah from Jijit Financial Services to help you with the fundamentals, and Abhijit Paul from abhijitpaul.com to help you with the technicals. Morning, gentlemen. First query of the day. This is Prasanna on the phone line from Pune. Go ahead. What's your query?
Yeah, hello everybody. Good morning. I'm a long-term investor and I hold around 250 shares of Canfin Homes at the rate of 445 and around 325 shares of Capital First at the rate of 690. So I want to know what is the future and what should I do in these shares. Canfin Homes, when it is being said, it is being discussed in the market that the management of Canfin Homes is more into managing the analyst expectations rather than concentrating on the core operational activities. And there is some negative perception that seems to have been created in the market. The stock is getting butchered. So I heard Gaurang sir a couple of times stressing by housing finance companies on declines of 5 to 10% decline, but I'm not able to gauge how much more the shares will fall. So I'm not able to understand till how long or how much more would these shares fall.
Fair enough. Gaurang, help him make a couple of decisions here. Losing money on Canfin Homes, his buy price is 445. Should he remain with this one, switch over to something else? Also, okay, let me just get back Gaurang on the line. But Abhijit, help him understand what he should do with these stocks. Canfin Homes losing about 100 rupees per share on that one. And Capital First, he bought it at around 690. So again, what would the recommendation be?
Well, yes, both the stocks are out of the money for him, and they have, especially Canfin has recently moved into a downtrend across all time frames, which is not good news. Well, the last, when the recent sell-off came, the support that most of the chart artists or the charts would suggest was in the range of around 375 to 400. I'm talking from a medium to long-term point of view. Currently, the stock is trading much below that. Having said that, it means that there is still some weakness left. And probably traders and investors will use any bounce back in the stock to probably lighten out a little bit. A deeper correction in the stock can lead to value buying, and deeper correction can lead to fall close to that psychological 300 mark. So I will not be surprised if it steadily comes down to that level, not immediately, but probably eventually. It seems like the pain is still there, not much, but I think he should continue to hold on to it. The first sentence that he said was, I'm a long-term investor. So I would suggest that initiate a staggered approach, use the psychological level close to the 300, 310 zone to buy some more. Quarterly and very long-term charts are fine, but from a short-term to medium-term point of view, it is kind of weak. Similar story with CAPF as well. Capital First, it has moved into a downtrend. Immediate support to watch for is close to that 480-500 zone. I would suggest to keep a close watch what the stock manages to do. If it manages to break below that 480, then there's still some pain left. When I look into the daily, weekly charts, that is the short-term and the medium-term charts, it suggests that this kind of charts will face selling every time it manages to give a bounce back. Unless we get high volume bounce back from strong support, it makes sense to just keep a watch on them closely and buy at strong support.
Fair enough. So important support levels to watch out for on both of these counters. Be cognizant of those levels. Let me also get your fundamental view. Gaurang, welcome in. Canfin Homes and Capital First, his two investments. He's a long-term investor. He's losing money on both. He's heard you in the past talking about NBFCs. What would the recommendation be on these two stocks?
So remain positive both on Canfin Homes as well as Capital First, if I heard the name right. The issue is that we've seen correction in the market come through, and broader markets have seen a larger correction. And that's more because of certain reasons on the domestic front and the churning that the asset management companies have to do. And not to forget, Dipanshu, we went down, we came up again, and again we've corrected. But our sense is then I maintain a positive view on the housing finance companies with respect to the earnings, loan book growth, as well as asset quality. And one of the finest asset qualities in the industry as far as banking NBFC is concerned, that is housing finance companies hold. On Capital First, there is also a tailwind news positive of merger. IDFC Bank merging with Capital First. Now, if this thing has to go through the punch, I think there will be added verticals and opportunities for Capital First to operate and get much better funding at a lower level. So it's a patience game. You have got both the stocks are good enough. The only problem is how much time you can stay invested.
All right, so it's a consensus hold from both Gaurang as well as Abhijit on these counters. Be cognizant of the levels, be cognizant of the earnings that they report, and like Gaurang said, have patience and hold on for the long term. Let's get our next query of the day. Ashish on the phone line from Chennai. Go ahead, Ashish. What's your query?
Good morning to all.
Morning. Tell us.
I just want to say thanks for having me on the show. And my query is to Mr. Shah, and I'm a big fan of Mr. Gaurang Shah. My query is that I'm looking for an investment of 10 lakhs divided by 2, 5 lakhs for a short period of 1 to 2 years and 5 lakhs for a period of 2 to 3 years. And my thing is, I'm also looking on to having a monthly investment of 30,000 on every month basis. So is it advisable to continue with the same script or get into new scripts every time? And I'm also looking at investing on Idea Cellular for a long term. So is it advisable?
Fair enough. So Gaurang, a couple of questions thrown in. Can invest about 30,000 per month. Wants to know if going with 1 or 2 stock ideas and continuously adding that is a good way to go. And also a corpus amount of 5 to 10 lakhs divided between 1 to 2 years and then 2 to 3 years. And finally on an idea. So a lot of questions for you to answer. Help him out here.
Yeah, I want to be very honest. And first of all, thanks for the kind words. Really appreciate that. First question on the 10 lakh rupees investment split into 2 5 lakhs, one for 1 to 2 years and the other one for maybe 3 to 5 years. So on 1 to 2 years, I think FMCG consumption driven themes should do well given the demand and focus that is there. So I would advise looking at names like Imami, Godrej Consumer Products amongst the FMCG pack. For the first 5 lakhs I'm talking about. The other options in that same is Voltas and Blue Star. Again, these are consumer discretionary. Remain positive over there. And Havells India would be the 5th stock. So your first 5 lakhs. For the next 5 lakhs with a 3 to 5 years horizon, my sense is that banking should turn around, and we have seen visibility of that banking turnaround. And I'm quite sure that the next levels that we are going to see on the higher side would be contributed much credit to the banking. So I would advise you to buy Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank amongst the large cap, mid cap private sector banks. Amongst the NBFCs, housing finance companies I was just speaking about, you can look at India Bulls as well as Diwan Housing Finance Limited. And one more stock, if I have to add over, advise you to even look at holding stock.
All right, a bit of an issue with Gaurang's phone line there, but essentially a lot of stocks that he has mentioned that you can continue to add in, and most of them are from the financial universe, which is something that he prefers. Let's get our next query of the day. Then Anurag on the phone line from Gurugram. Go ahead, Anurag. What's your query?
Hi, this is regarding the future series. I have 31st May ending future series stocks of Bata as well as Godrej Consumer Private Limited. I'm badly stuck. I bought Bata at 803 and GCPL at 1153. And both the stocks are running very low, so need your advice urgently. I hardly have any days left with me.
Absolutely. 1 week to go to expiry. Abhijit, Bata May futures bought at 803. Godrej Consumer May futures bought at 1153. What should he do?
Well, there's no hard and fast rule that you have to let them expire on the 31st of May. If that is, then I sense that you might have to cut these positions in the minor loss, because looking into the charts, both the stocks have come off quite a bit from his entry point. Let's talk about Bata first. His entry is close to 803, which has been a very strong resistance. 800 is a psychological supply point for the stock. I don't see that level coming up anytime soon. What we saw in today's opening is also an opening high, and after that, the stock has sold off. A break below that, 740 from where recently we saw a sharp bounce back. If that is gone, then I sense that the stock might fall a little bit more. So within a week's time, it is unlikely, looking into the short-term charts, that the stock will come back to its buy price. The trigger on the upside has to be yesterday's high, which is close to 784 in the futures market. The fact that 784 came, it could not sustain. Today it opened at the high point and it's selling off as we speak right now. It shows that the stock has some amount of selling left. One, he can use a stop loss, which he did not do in the earlier case. Two, he can continue to hold on to it and roll over, but I sense that the weakness will stay. So stop loss, if you're trading in futures markets and not using a stop loss, that would not be a very prudent thing to do. So I would suggest decide upon a stop loss and wait for the position to pan out. The other one is Godrej CP. This is relatively better off than Bata because of the fact that close to that 170, 165, 70 zone, it's got tremendous strong support, and that's exactly from where it's been bouncing back for the last 2 months now. Again, same story. Today we've got an opening high on Godrej CP. It opened to the highest point of the day and sells off. There is still a little bit of chance if it takes out today's high, which is close to that 1118 in the futures market, it can inch further up. But the point with both his buy is he has bought at strong resistances, strong supply points. So if Godrej CP bounces back, then I will suggest not wait for his buy price. Even if it comes close to that 1140 zone, he should take out his position. On the caveat, if it breaks yesterday's low, which was close to 1177, 1077, then there will be further weakness in the stock.